flying in a plane with a parachute, just so you're comfortable with that. I actually have nightmares of crashing a plane, and it's usually when the pilot, like, for whatever reason, he can't fly, and I've always had that feeling of, like, I just want to do it, but I just, well, I didn't do it successfully. Like, I'd say 8 out of 10 times I crashed a plane, but Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Monday. How you doing? Take a look. It's coming together. So our new place here in our new office, we've got, the Closing Beat. You've seen that there before. We've got our Wine and Wealth over here kind of set up. Still some lights to get put up and everything, but that is the beginnings of it. And then if you were to look over here, that's where we're bringing back FinTips. I haven't forgot about you guys. That is what we're going to be working on next. So it's almost done, actually. As far as the stock market goes today, that's what we're here to talk about. This is a bit of a distraction, right? We're financial advisors that just believe in teaching, having fun, kind of letting you know how to keep your dough straight, work through investments and stuff. And so we just build the little sets and stuff just to kind of make it relaxed. No suit and ties, none of that garbage. So if you want to join us, hopefully you'll check us out. jazzwealth.com. We do IRAs and Roth IRAs, long-term investment accounts and such. And every week, right over here, actually, in this Wine and Wealth class, we do that for clients only. And last week, we really kind of started talking about the tax proposals and, all right, what's the strategy there? You may know that we're with Goldman Sachs, and so you're getting that Goldman Sachs level detail that only the rich people get. But if you log into our site, you see it's Goldman Sachs, right? So we have access to all the research and the planning tools and stuff that they're telling the multimillionaires. Well, a lot of that translates down to the individual. So we started that last week, and this week I'm going to actually show you how the rich handle their own accounts, the investments inside of them. Stems from my background and things that I used to work on, but we're going to break it down for the average person. How do we take the same effort, or are we already, with your accounts here at Jazz Wealth? A little teaser. Also, every week I like to do email. It's a handwritten email, no templates. I don't use third-party service or anything. This is what it looks like, just to prove to you that we do read it. I do write it. This week we talked about the October seasonality. We talked about how September performed and everything, but we went through the actual performance throughout the month of October. We talked about actual changes broken down by setup. So when the S&P is already up year to date, how does October perform? When the S&P has a down September, how does October perform? A down September, but up year to date, we covered that. And also some updates and stuff of things that are going on in the dojo. Just like to share those kind of things with you. Every week, just give you a quick update, because I know people are busy. You guys, it's not like, all you guys hanging out with us now. You got nothing else to do but look at the market like me. Some people get busy, I understand that, so we put that together for them. As far as the stock market goes, more red on the screen. That's good news, because I'd like to have that office, so we need to get to down 10% here in the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, I'm not getting that office with our little friendly bet. It is also the fourth quarter. All right, so just like that, the year is over. It's the fourth quarter there. If we take a look at the S&P here, in the third quarter, that was the least volatile as far as the major indices go. The third quarter had the least volatile performance. The S&P actually gained 0.58% in the third quarter. And other than the small cap 600, which outpaces the S&P 500 historically, the S&P remains in first place. The S&P 600, if you don't know, people say, oh, you can't beat the S&P 500. Yeah, you can. That's one index that does it. If you don't want to get too fancy, it does that. It's kind of like my sister-in-law when you talk politics with her. She heard one thing on one channel, and then all of a sudden she's like, nah, we're going this way. She didn't have the information, right? A lot of people think you can't beat the S&P 500, and it's like, okay, you read that, and I get that you read that, but that's not technically true. Anyways, of all the countries in the world, the U.S. actually is in 11th place, the S&P, in terms of its performance there. Only Mexico, Hong Kong, Germany, and Brazil are doing worse there. Russia's in first place. If you want to look, you can use the RSX to see the performance of Russia. And it's positive for the month by 3.6% there. There you go. And here's a fun fact, just to throw something out at you. For the S&P, when the S&P is up over 10% for the year, October actually averages a decline of 0.93%. So it's about a 1% decline when the S&P is up already 10% or more. We broke it down in our notes from Jazz just to give you a whole bunch of different ways to look at it. As far as today goes, the only real strength in the market, if you were looking for strength today, you're going to find it in energy stocks there. Wow, that looks like a green screen back there, doesn't it? Holy cow. And that's it's not a green screen. That's how you know we're doing it well. That looks good. Look at the charts there. You got Devon. Diamondback Energy, one of my favorites there, hitting new highs. That's really all it is. There were over 100 stocks in the S&P today that lost more than 2%. Right? And also, if you're looking at the weak stuff today, it's not just that you had news-driven names in there. Growth stocks. Look at Enphase selling off a little bit more there. Twitter selling off on the day with some news from Facebook as well. Edwards Life Sciences, big pullback there. Nvidia is another one. So growth stocks in general really took it the worst today and have been taking it the worst over the last few days anyways. If you look at the NASDAQ, broke down to new lows today. That's the difference between the NASDAQ and the other indices here. It broke Friday's low, and I believe it's the only index to do that so far. What really dragged it lower today, Facebook. Great pullback on Facebook. You'd like to see the market do the same thing. Come on down to the 200-day moving average. So Facebook weaker. I think Facebook is still down. It's been down for hours now. And so is Instagram and WhatsApp. We're still waiting on news on that one if it hasn't come out already. Nvidia, we just mentioned a second ago. That's your weakness there. Also, reopening stocks. Reopening stocks. Find your weakness there. The stocks, virus stocks, not reopening stocks. The ones that did well during the virus, right? You got Peloton, we went home and we pedaled on bikes at home. Zoom, we went home, we had meetings, right? You know the drill. I don't have to say that again. DocuSign also, those were some of the weaker areas there. We got virus cases, thankfully, heading lower, and so those stocks continue to bleed off there little by little. You got the Russell, gave the greatest pullback in the third quarter there, down 4.5%. It's in second from last place. The Dow is actually in last place year to date. It's not bad still got a double-digit gain there, and notice it has not broken lows. The S&P has not broken lows. The Russell has not broken lows. Only the NASDAQ so far being the key word there. And if you're playing Guess the Dow, I believe we might have a winner actually.
We do have a winner. I don't know if you actually have it, but we do have a winner, and that is a client of ours, Mr. Terry Messenger, with a guess of 34,345. So congratulations to him. Actually, instead of getting his account credited $100, he took the gift card. So congrats to him. We got a new leaderboard this week. We got Jeremy, Linnea, Chelsea, Victor, and Ronnie. Those are your top 5 to start the week.
Fun fact, we are allowed to play Guess the Dow in the terms and conditions.
Yeah, I played last week, one of my first times playing. Wasn't too far off.
But we just can't win. So if you're ever, now that'd be interesting because you would be on the leaderboard, right? If you guessed.
I just want to see my name on it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so
that's the whole reason I played.
All right, so the rule is we're allowed to play, we just can't win. So even if we did win, the next person would win there. I think that's probably fair. But hey, good luck to you guys and congratulations, Terry. I know Terry. It's funny how some clients I know and you feel like you get to know them kind of well. And some you just never hear from. They're not very active and stuff, but I do know Terry, and I wish the best for you there. Hopefully hopefully you can win again, actually. I would have chosen the gift card, too, myself. Accrediting the account's fun, but I like the gift card there. All right, let's go over to the sector breakdown for the day. Look at everything, man. All lower on the day. It's good news if you like that. I'll tell you, energy is the clear leader, and sadly, you had the price of oil hit new highs today. And I already mentioned last week, and I think the week before, oil's going higher, and there's nobody that's interested in stopping the price of oil from going higher. I mean, it's the government we live in at the moment, good or bad, whatever you take from it. If you're investing, you're happy. If you're buying gas, you're not happy. But that's where it stands. Now, I did something a little different. We're going to put up the breakdown in a couple different ways for you to take a look at here. They're sorted by year to date. So here's every sector at the bottom, and we started with the worst sector in terms of having the smallest gain all the way to the biggest. So you could see the difference. Look at energy, 42% gain year to date, the clear leader, and that's sadly largely driven by energy there. If you look through just September, it was the only sector to finish positive. Darn near gained double digits in September alone. And so the trouble is you go, well, okay, wow, if it had such a great September and if it's up so much year to date, why isn't the market responding to that? It's 3% of the weight of the market. At this moment, it's 3%. So if 3% of the market's doing really, really well it's not going to move the market higher. It doesn't have much of an impact. Go back to August, and energy was actually 10% of the market. Had this happened in August, all right, now we have a recipe for maybe getting something done there. But that's why energy is not really having much of an impact there. Financials here. Continue to enjoy rising rates and breakout patterns across the board there. It's in second place year to date, though it did give you, look, in September, a little modest pullback there in September, slight decline there. If you look at consumer staples and utilities, they're going to be in last place there. They're headed back to the flat line. Utilities had the worst September, down 6%, consumer staples down 4%. Like I said, headed back to the flat line because if you look year to date, they're only up single digits, right? Just a few. They're the only two that are up single digits at the moment. But you also see pockets of buyers showing up in these defensive names. Utilities a little more sensitive to interest rates, but you see those pockets of buyers starting to show up there. Also, lastly, I'll look at materials, the biggest loser there. Thanks to Sherwin-Williams, pulled back there. Lind was the biggest contributor to the downside. Freeport-McMoRan, Nucor down 14%. Newmont was also down 9% there. And so there you have the weakest in the month of September. Still double-digit gains for the year. Now, the S&P, which is not on here, lost 4.6% in September. So if you look, just put yourself on this screen here. There are only 4 sectors that technically beat the market, meaning they lost less or gained. We know energy gained and the S&P lost, so therefore, that's beating the market. Financials only lost 1%. They're beating the market. Consumer discretionary technically beating the market, and consumer staples beating the market. All the other sectors underperformed for the month of September. Kind of interesting there, huh? All right, new highs and lows. Let's take a look there for the day. 20 new highs, 6 new lows. Diamondback Energy is going to be the first one. I'm a little partial to that one. That was my top 2021 pick for the best performing stock. It's coming back, man. At one point, it was in third place for the year out of the S&P 500. I think it's still somewhere in the teens, but making a wild comeback there, up 4.5% today. And all energy. Energy stocks as a whole, people just said, if you can't beat them, join them. If oil is just going to take off like that, let's just have it happen, man. There's going to be a couple others. ConocoPhillips was another name, and so many others in the energy space. They're overbought. They're tough to buy here. It's just put it on the radar that energy just refuses to hold back at the moment. Also, you got Hilton, right? Good news with the virus, everything hopefully moving in a better direction there. Also, maybe you got a pill coming out from Merck. Take a pill, get rid of the virus, or at least not have symptoms. That's good news. Good news for hotels as well. It's better than a shot anyways. Who wants you put a needle in you if you could just take a pill? Bank of America up 0.6% on the day. This is financials. You can look at financials, really any of them. I'll look at Raymond James as well. I put that on the list. That's messed up because of the split not showing yet, so that's going to be my bad. That should update in a day or two. But Bank of America hitting highs, and almost every one of the financials are very close to setting some kind of new high, new break of a downtrend. Interesting bullish technical patterns shaping up there. Okie dokie. I'll let the stream catch up here for a second because I know there's a little bit of a delay. I will cover some of the stocks in the news, hang out with you, see if I can answer any questions, and then get back to doing what we do there. Let's see. If I can be a little sluggish today. My daughter turned 21 yesterday, so you have to share a drink or 10 with your daughter, right? So yeah, I'm still recovering. Anyways, stocks in the news. Facebook, you may have already heard, Facebook it doesn't work, right? You can't get into Facebook, at least as of the start of this show. And then also, at least a positive article from Barron's over the weekend said this pullback here and the headlines and everything, not knowing, they didn't know over the weekend about the fact that they're kind of offline at the moment. They said it's attractive. This pullback here is attractive for Facebook. They were positive on that one. We'll see. JELD-WEN. You know these guys, if you've ever bought Windows there. They lowered their sales outlook for the third quarter earnings. Now remember, earnings are coming up, it really starts on the 18th-ish, 18th, 19th, 20th. In there is when it really picks up, the Q3 earnings. So you're going to hear a lot of these companies try to lower the bar for Q3. We talked about that last week. Well, JELD-WEN was one of them there. They're having supply chain issues, labor problems as well. That's going around. It's no surprise. It's just another company to point out to mention that. Tesla there, they 241,000 cars. That was a headline news event over the weekend. Their deliveries of 241,000 cars, better than expected. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? You got a steady uptrend there on an otherwise historically volatile stock, so that's fine. J&J is looking for FDA approval on their booster vaccine shots. Stock's a little bit lower today because Merck stole all their thunder. So Merck, obviously, quick little rally there. The news came out the other day, but continues today with a pill that has shown to decrease hospitalizations and deaths. You take a pill within 5 days of showing symptoms there, you're good to go. I think a lot of people, there's people out there that are like, I don't do needles. I can't do needles. Give me a pill. I'm happy to work along with you. But that'd be good news. I mean, of course, you want as many, I would think you want as many treatments as possible there. Also, the Fed. More Fed members, we find out, are insider trading, or what we would be labeled as insider trading if we did it. Takes the focus off Nancy Pelosi a little bit, but everybody's focused on the Fed for the moment. You had 2 step down. You got Vice President Clarita actually had changed positions one day before they talked about easing, and so that's under consideration. And Elizabeth Warren, by the way, not a fan favorite of hers, but she gets some points. She says, hey, let's look into this. Come on, why are we just sitting around accepting this? Is nobody going to say anything about them doing this? We got to at least look into it. And so I think she is on the scent. So love them or hate them, doesn't matter. It's just not fair, man. Shouldn't be able to trade like that. Because if that's the case, I got a bunch of ideas, right? Imagine the things that you learn that you could be like, oh, I know this is happening. No, you go right to jail. Those guys don't go to jail. All right, let's see what questions you have, and then we'll wrap it up here and get back to work, doing all the good stuff. Thank you for all of you, by the way, that have been signing up to join us. That's I know we've been down for a little bit while we get everything moved and situated, and you've been more than patient, most of you. I appreciate that. Yep. I love it. That's all right, let's see if any questions I can answer there. Thank you for the birthday wishes there. More downside. So what do you think? What do you think? Look at what we had today. If I go back over here. So today we challenged this prior low on the S&P 500. And what's really interesting to me and why I think you still have room for more downside, look at an intraday chart. And I'll try to just give you just today so it doesn't look so messy. Here's an intraday chart. You had your morning sell-off, lots of activity, always. The mornings are more active, right? The mornings, that first hour and the last hour, always most active times. Anyways, so you get the first little sell-off today and nothing. Look at these strong attempts here to try to buy the market late day, to try to get in there and take advantage of the dip that were erased, right? I think that's a little telltale sign. Normally, you have a big sell-off. There's attempts to bounce, and then you get a good little trend going. It breaks. You go sideways. You get another little boost higher. They try to really recover off of it. Nothing here today. So for me, even though we're oversold in the short term, I think you could see either, I don't know that it'll be a boring week, but you could see like a little boring sideways, just back and forth kind of week, and then we continue pushing lower, or maybe they just make a run for it and you get your waterfall drop. I'd prefer not to have the waterfall drop myself if I could, if I had a preference, I guess, or if I could control it somehow. Yeah. Time to sell LRCX. Well, why you want to sell it? I don't want to say at the end of the weakness here, but if you look at semis as a whole, you've already weathered a lot of this downturn. What are we waiting for? Why would you sell now after being down like this? You expect to see people step in and as a whole take a shot on the semiconductors, at least for the short term. So even if it's only a couple days of a recovery rally, wouldn't you kind of think if you were going to throw in the towel, you could likely throw in the towel in the 570s or something, save yourself a little bit of a loss? That's how I would look at it there. You like Facebook as a buy? Well, and it's what other stocks are extremely oversold in the short term? I mean, there are some, but where else in the big headline stocks are you going to find this oversoldness here? It's interesting. Yeah. Internet. Oh man, conspiracy theories of the why is Facebook down? Something's happened. Yeah. FANG. Well, technically, FANG, the stock, it would be outperforming Facebook. But if you're looking for a stock of the FANG stocks to buy, and you like discounts, that'd be my thing. I like to see a discount. I'm not scared of it. I like to feel like I got a better deal. Then you'd have to say, yeah, for sure. Yeah. When's a good time to put money into a Roth IRA? Well, so a Roth IRA is an account, and a mutual fund is an investment that goes inside of it. So the best time to put money in a Roth IRA is they always say, the best time to invest was yesterday. The next best time to invest is today, right? Because those accounts grow tax-free. So it's less about timing and more about, I want that money to grow as long as it possibly can without paying taxes. So that's the sort of dorky financial advisor answer. But also there's deadlines, right? You have until tax day to fill up for 2021. And so if we're at that point of the year, you'd say the best time is now because your time's running out to contribute. So a little bit different there. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, what are y'all fighting about in there? Oh, UVXY. So you want to use it for hedging. Careful with these if you're looking at leveraged volatility products. Any leveraged ETF in general, they're not good for hedging anything except for overnight. And the company themselves will tell you. So careful on those. I would say no, it's not a good idea for hedging. Your best hedge is just to take the position off. So if you're 100% invested and you say, I'd like to hedge about 30% of my portfolio, why not just sell 30% of what you have? That part, that's free. You don't have to pay for that one. Yeah. I don't know. Wish you did individual analysis stock videos. I think I've done a few just to test them out. I didn't get like great feedback on them, like that's something you're interested in, but I did a few where we went the fundamental route, we went the technical route, gave you an overview of what they do, things you may not know about them. I like doing those. Yeah. Did a little buy-in today. There you go. Likes a discount too, huh? I know, right? Okay, if you like that sort of thing, I always looking for ideas. I have a laundry list of ideas that popped up while we've been building this here for FinTips videos. So maybe I'll blow through those and get them all set up and try to do more frequent ones, and then head back into the individual analysis. Those are fun for me. I like doing those. I like doing the planning ones too, because you're showing how someone can add value to their actual account without picking an investment or something. So I like to do those. Those are big. And a lot of the retirees say, oh my God, I didn't see that. Didn't know that. But we'll see. We also have the rest of the week for excitement. Do we get a turnaround Tuesday tomorrow? What do you think? Get a turnaround Tuesday? We'll find out. I'll be here for that. We'll start this thing all over again. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us here today. I will see you tomorrow, and enjoy.